he's also the founder of Alpha Movement and a personal branding expert. So if anyone wants to know more, here's Seif El Halim, the Alpha. Welcome to Million Opinions.
Thank you, brother, for having me. It's an honor. Love this setting, love your energy, and I think we'll have a great conversation.
I'm sure we do. I went through some of your episodes, Seif, and the thing that really hit me was you believe in nurture versus nature. You say that alphas can be nurtured.
True.
So why the Alpha Movement? Why the Alpha Talk?
Okay, the Alpha Movement overall, it's an initiative or a movement that helps people to, I would say, unleash their potential. Because what I see around us, that people are just looking at others with the help of social media and not fulfilling their potential. So I created what is called the Alpha Movement. One of the pillars of the Alpha Movement is the Alpha Talks show. There are other pillars like the Alpha Book Series, there is an online training platform, there is a club, like-minded people to help each other to develop, and even entrepreneurs. So this is an overall, in a nutshell, what's the Alpha Movement.
Your social media presence has been rapid. So you have millions of followers in your social media altogether. Yeah. So your journey started in 2023, last year, was it?
No.
When I mean that, I mean Alpha Talks, the podcast.
Alpha Talks, absolutely, yeah.
Right. But then again, right now you have a massive following. And I know that you had a very successful career as an employee as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you tell me your journey as an employee? How did it all start?
Okay. It ended as CMO of Samsung Electronics in Russia, in Moscow. Before that, oh my God, it's a long story, but I'll try to put it in a nutshell. I'm from Egypt, graduated as an engineer, and I was completely in my comfort zone. Completely in my comfort zone. I didn't want to do anything except being in my comfort zone. My friends, my job that I had at that time, I was an engineer and a telecom operator. And by nature, I'm a sports person, which means I'm built with, challenges. I want to take the challenges. I want to pass challenges. One of my friends came and told me there is an opportunity for joining Samsung. Samsung, as a global company, is looking around the world to hire what we call global leaders. And what will happen with global leaders is they go to South Korea, work in headquarters, and then get their MBA and. At that time, honestly, I didn't want to do these things because I was comfortable. I didn't like to be outside of my comfort zone. So I went to the interview, and it was, I would say, Middle East and North Africa competition. There was like 10, 15 people. They will select one person. That person will be part of this program, the Global Leadership Program. And I remember that time I was sitting in the waiting area where 10, 15 people around me from different countries. But man, I was working. So I was looking at my watch and I said, like, when the interview is starting, I need to go back. And the lady at that time looked at me and said, Seif, where are you from? So I said, I'm from Egypt. She said, like, no worries, you can leave now. Anyways, Egyptians are lazy. You won't win. This statement changed everything to me. And like everybody's looking at me shocked as well. So I said, like, in a very simple way, okay, let's do it that way. I said, if I win, that you resign.
You told her that one?
I said, and it happened, and I won, and then she resigned. We're in touch these days as well. A close friend. But that was a challenge to me. I didn't have a plan to go to South Korea. I didn't have a plan to go to Samsung. But this challenge pushed me. So I left my home country. I went to Samsung headquarters. Been there for like 4 or 5 years. And from there, a lot of challenges as well. Then I had to go back to my home country. And I remember I was really a superstar at that time in headquarters. Like everybody knew me, all the VPs, all the executives, everybody. And HR called me and said, like, Seif, come. So I came to HR and said, like, it's time to go back to Egypt. And at that time, I didn't want to go back to Egypt. Things flipped. I want to stay in a multinational culture. I want to learn, to have the international exposure, and. So I looked at the guy and I said, I'm not going anywhere. Everybody in this organization knows Seif and knows the value that he adds. All the VPs, executives. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. So the guy whispered in my ears and said, like, Seif, put your ego down. I can replace you with an empty chair in 2 seconds. That's the time that I really took a commitment on myself that I will never be replaceable. Which means I really took my personal development very strong. I was developing my skills to the max. Day in, day out, I'm always developing myself. Even to that day, I develop myself every single day. I don't want to hear this word. And from that point, I was reallocated to Moscow with all the challenges. It's a huge chapter as an Egyptian going to Moscow. Stayed there 10 years, reached CMO position, got awarded and acknowledged by the Russian President Putin for the results happened in Sochi Olympics. So, and then afterwards, completely changed. I reached my, like, I would say maximum level in corporate. There was no other way to grow. So I decided to start my entrepreneurship journey. And for anybody listening to us, entrepreneurship journey is hell. If you are not ready for it, you don't have the risk appetite, you don't have this, I would say that stress resistance, don't even try to jump into it. I love it, but I remember the first year was hell. You know, moving from a CMO position in Samsung, managing over $3 billion turnover, having over 800 employees, and switching to being an entrepreneur. So you think you already have all the solutions for everything, right? But when you hit the entrepreneurship journey, you will suddenly understand absolutely not. It's a totally different ball game. So within a year time frame, I remember I woke up in the morning, not in the morning, late night, I went to the bathroom and I look at myself in the mirror and I see a person that I absolutely don't know. Absolutely. A person who's lost his confidence. Motivation doesn't exist. Not proud of the person that I see in the mirror. And you know, you get these whispers in your ears. Like, Seif, maybe it's not your game, go back to corporate. And you know, like I always remember like my family, the people who I love, that I'm taking care of, I don't want to put them down. You know, I took a vase and I broke this mirror and I said, I don't want to see this man again. My second level of personal development, hired coaches, studied, tried everything until I flipped the business. And I love it. I love this journey. So that's in a nutshell my story, which is going to come out in a book soon.
Which I'm sure that many people would benefit from. So Seif, let me ask you. So the HR said, put your ego down. I can replace you with an empty chair in 2 seconds. But most of the thing, when you hear the word alpha, it's associated with power abuse as well. So don't you think, in a way, that was what the person was thinking? Okay, I'm going to be the alpha here. I'm going to threaten a person like this.
It's a power position, of course. Head of HR is a power position. But it depends on how you're using this power on. I usually use these criticism to fuel me more. As I said, like, I'm a sports person. I used to be in the professional team of Kung Fu, Mr. Olympia. All these challenges fires me up. And it's always a lesson for me. So I took it as not like, okay, he's trying to man up. Let's put it in that way. I took the lesson. And the lesson was, never anybody you're going to tell me this. I mean, in a work perspective, in a relationship perspective, in a partnership perspective, I always have to add value. There is always an alpha in the room. Like if we're sitting now with Trump, who's the alpha of the room? It's going to be Trump. So being an alpha, being in the alpha in your own space. You cannot go run outside the street and saying, I'm in the alpha, I'm the alpha, I'm the alpha. So the alpha in the room. You're trying to be an alpha as much as you can, but not in the abusive manner. Because, okay, how do I define an alpha? Okay, history says that the alpha is the leader, correct? Right. It is the first letter in the Greek alphabet. It is the leader of the animal pack. That's an alpha. And if you go back in time, alpha was always the abusive, the controlling behavior, the egocentric, and. But in modern times, we live in modern times, the traits of an alpha completely changed. The modern alpha traits evolved over time. It's becoming the person who is extremely decisive. I see a lot of people, they can hardly make a decision. An alpha person who is make tough decisions. Alpha person, he's fiercely determined. An alpha person who has control over his emotions health, spirituality as well. A person who takes the responsibility, a person who is impactful and influential, a person who takes care and the responsibility of beloved one, the people around him. These are all the traits of the modern alpha, not the abusive, the things that we have from the past. Absolutely not.
When you moved, you left your corporate. What was the situation with the family? Did they say you're leaving a very good position? Because again, to reach a position was not easy. You had to work really hard. At the same time, it is rewarding. So the transition from a corporate to an entrepreneur, and the feelings that you are having of self-doubt, identity crisis, which again you overcome. And you know, I'm glad you spoke about this, because not many people do that. And especially when you say, okay, I'm an alpha, people associate that with only strength and not about the other side.
100%.
But this way, how was the thing with the family?
Okay, when I left corporate, I joined family business.
Okay.
But being a CMO of Samsung, and you tell them suddenly you're leaving, that's a hit. But I would say, like, my family, in a way, that they trust my decisions. You know, the decision that I left my country, it was my decision. And they saw how it was fruitful for me. So over a period of time, you prove your material. So at the end, when I decided that I'm leaving corporate and I'm joining the family business, they all supported this. But since I worked in a family business, I could say it's not an easy thing to work in a family. Why? Because number one, it's a totally different ball game. In corporate, you're I would say in a bubble. Let's put it in that way. Being a CMO of Samsung, whatever I want, I do like this, it happens. You understand? Like, I need a contract to be reviewed. It's like this. I need a website to be up. I need a campaign to run. Just a WhatsApp message, right? Doing your own thing or running a family business or if you want to do something, you do it yourself. So it's an absolutely different thing. So I had an issue in the beginning of criticism of the system and process in the family business. Like, how these are running like this. You understand? And all the family members or like, this is how it happens in a family business. You're coming from your 12 plus years in corporate. You're coming from a totally different space. But I would say they were very supportive. But the journey was extremely tough. As a person, as I said, like a person, my identity was broken, reached a level, literally, if any person who has a little bit of rationale in his mind, he would go back to corporate. Easy. And I could go back easy. Like, since I left, I get the proposals every month, a new offer. So any person who couldn't take the stress could easily go. But for me, it's the same. You know, like, every moment of my time or everything that happens that switched in my career or it's always been a challenge. Literally. From the time of the Samsung empty chair, the time even in Russia a lot. And even the person looking at me in the mirror and telling me, like, go back to corporate, you're not able to do that. And it's just, for me, it's always a watch me thing. Let me show you. And it's not that I am, because, you know, a lot of people take it from a perspective that I want validation from others. Absolutely not. I want validation from myself.
That's what I got from one of your episodes when you say that when you want to get something done, get it done. It's you know, probably your relatives may hate you. Some of your family members may hate you. But you love them no matter what, because they're hating out of concern, and maybe they are insecure, but that doesn't have to make you as an individual insecure.
Absolutely correct.
So that's something I got. But you know what, Seif, you also mentioned people in different countries, when they do that, they say that, okay, they are talented. They have it. They are the go-getters. Maybe they have rich parents or they have the support. But when it comes to certain cultures, and this is where cultural intelligence and cultural differences come. That's where, you know, you get a lot of negativity from the ones who you expect support. That's why I asked you about the family. How was it? Because you gave a very, very insightful message in your podcast in the early beginnings. And that's what happened to me. And most of us come from the similar culture. If you go to see Egyptian culture, Indian culture, the collective culture, let's say.
True.
So right now there are many people who want to get into entrepreneurship. And rightly said, everybody assumes getting into entrepreneurship, I can control my time, I can manage everything. But what they don't understand is entrepreneurship is 24/7, 365.
It's hell. Yeah. No, literally, it's hell. So like, you know, they see the good part out of it, but you don't see the hell that is happening behind the curtains. You sacrifice a lot, and that's why I always say, in order to be successful, you need to sacrifice. For entrepreneurship, you sacrifice a lot. Your time, your energy, your effort, your health, your money. What's the worst thing about entrepreneurship? You keep spending, and what? You never know when it's gonna flip. That's a risk not anybody can take it. You're running a podcast, let's say running a podcast as an entrepreneur, putting the money, the equipment, editing, tuck. You don't know when the door will knock. I want to sponsor your podcast, correct?
Correct.
That's entrepreneurship. You need to have the thick skin to keep going until the flip happens.
So you nurture alphas. Has anyone come to you and say, for example, if you had an idea, and at the moment, in current times, maybe your business partners, maybe the people who are working with you, and challenged some of your ideas head on, how did you take it? Are you accepting? Because I'll tell you why. You have years of experience. At the same time, the youngsters also, some of them are very, very intellectual as well. But what happens is intellect is one thing and experience is one. So when these kind of things clash head on, it's something like what your family business was. When you're coming from a corporate and your family business, there's something which is happening for years and they know a certain way of doing it, especially when experience counts. Your thoughts on that?
You know, you took the discussion in a very nice angle that I want to really hammer on. The first thing is when you said experience, young people or intellect. I love that. It's not hard to be successful. A lot of factors play in order to be successful. You have a great idea. Luck played on your side. The hard part is what? Is to maintain success. So just don't want people to get me wrong. When there are young people getting the success, and they say right away, I can teach you how to be the successful. No, hold on a sec. I want to prove first that this success is maintained. Then you can teach me. That's why the experience comes into the game. Having 20 years of experience and 20 years of success, and of course the failures that happens with, proves that you're able to share your knowledge to help people to be successful. The second part of the criticism or opinions of people. I have a very interesting saying that says, my ears are opened. I'm always a child learning. I love to learn. But something that adds value to me, that will power me up. Happy to hear it. If it's destructive, it doesn't bother me. Why? Because I usually have a lovely story that I say, and I learned from it a lot. Of course, when we're, I would say, kids, teenagers, and growing up, opinions of people is important for us. And that's why. Because as humans, we're kids. We want our family acceptance. We want our teachers' acceptance, and. So you grow up with this, that I need to be accepted by a lot of people. How many people will really go to the funeral when the weather is bad and cry for you? Handful? So why should I give a damn about opinion of people that they will not even cry on the funeral? People, we are social animals. We like to be in herds. Once you try to go outside of the herd, the tribe will attack you. And part of the tribe will attack you because of love. They want you to be in comfort zone, like your family. Part of the tribe will attack you because they're not courageous as you to make the step. Or when you get out, they have no excuse to say, oh, okay, my friend did it. And if I didn't do it, then I'm... So that's all about you and how you handle these things. But that comes with experience, of course.
So you said the modern day alpha needn't necessarily be only men.
No.
There are women as well.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you because I work with some fantastic bosses who are females and they are leaders to the core.
Crashing it, true.
Some of them have this insecurity to work with ladies who are their bosses.
Oh, there are.
Your thoughts on that?
If the person, my boss or my leader, is a person that develops me, provide me the growth, men or women, it doesn't matter. That's safe. But of course, you have younger versions of people who are so masculine, I can't be, especially coming from our cultures. You understand? Like, I can't be bossed by a woman. It's absolutely not correct. There are really great women leading. The only thing that you need from a boss or a leader is a person that grows you. And if that person can grow you, lady or man, doesn't matter at all.
I heard one of your podcasts where you were into real estate and you put the hit list, and then your mentor said, instead of hit list, people I like to help. And that's what you do.
True.
You're here to help people. You are a mentor in American University in Dubai.
Yeah.
So what is it that your message to the kids?
I love to mentor. I love to provide value, to leave an impact. And that's why. It's not because of the money behind. It is simply because a phase that I passed through in my life, that without a mentor, I would fail. When I started my career in Samsung, and especially when I moved to Russia, it was a very tough journey. First of all, a guy that's from Middle East going to Russia. Second, doesn't know the language. Third, in the Russian culture, it takes time to break the ice. So when I first entered, I was like a guy working at headquarters, having an MBA. And once I came, the boss told me, like, go sit somewhere, do whatever it is, doesn't matter. At that time, I had a mentor. He was the CMO at that time. And he mentored me how to grow, how to develop myself. You know, till that day, I have the list of paper. It's so dirty from the time. The list of books I have to read, how to develop myself. I really found the value in the mentorship. And from that day, whoever, even before I started this movement, I started my online presence, whoever comes into my, I would say, like, surrounding, I would do my best to add value to them, to make them succeed in their own definition of success. And it went from here. Then it went to doing my online group coaching, then doing it in the university. I'm a damn believer of what we call success leaves clues. If I have the map, if I have the design how to be successful, it's so selfish if you don't share it with people.
That's very interesting, and that's where your entire alpha movement is to nurture and create leaders. True. What do you think makes a good leader?
Number one, I would say leading by example. Okay? If I'm your leader, I can't command you to be disciplined if I'm not disciplined. I can't command you to be creative if I'm not creative. I can't command you to come on time if I don't come on time. Leadership is simply leading by examples. You're always on the stage. People see you and they imitate you. We are humans. How children act, they mirror their parents. And that's how to be a strong leader, is to be an example of people want to follow. So that's one of the strongest principles in leadership, leading by example. The second one is, which I love to say, you always need to set the pace for what you're doing. Which means, you know Usain Bolt, the runner,
yes.
Of course. He broke records, right?
Yes.
When he broke the records, by that time, nobody broke these records. Am I correct?
Yes.
Absolutely. It was against human nature. But he broke it. The interview happened with the second and the third person. The second and third in the rank. And they also broke the record, correct? And when they asked them, how did you break the record? The answer was what? We're trying to catch Usain. That's a leader. You're setting the pace for the whole thing. You can't just sit and say, like, go run and do something. Go run and do something. No. You set the pace. The third principle, which I love about leadership as well, which is mixed between being a boss and a manager, because boss is a person that commands you and do nothing. A manager, a person just incentivize you. When you get the sales targets, I'll give you this and this. And nobody likes these both. A leader doesn't push from the back, pulls from the front. Leadership that I embody and I love. These top three. A lot of people which I meet and in leadership positions, they always complain about their team. Correct? But at the end of the day, it's the leadership responsibility, right? You have the 100% responsibility of whatever happens, okay? Leaders need to take care of this and need to know this. It's 100% your responsibility.
Seif, there are many people who just gave me an insight on how today's youth asks for work from home. They ask for so many other things, benefits, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But with that kind of mindset, what are the chances for success? Hard work, you cannot discount it, can you?
100%. Everything is about hard work. There is nothing except hard work. There is no overnight success. It doesn't exist. Corporate and an entrepreneur. In corporate, I was working almost the same amount of hours that I'm doing because I wanted to be the top. Yes, you can stay in corporate, whatever, like stay in your position for 5-10 years, no problem. But I wanted to be promoted every single year.
And did you?
I did. You know, in this particular thing, because I usually, like a lot of people coach them for this, I was the only employee in Samsung that got promoted every year. By policy, it's every 3 years. But I made it. Every year I was promoted. That's with the added value that I put on the table to my boss, to my managers, to my VPs. I will deliver these results. I will make you more profit. I will save you more money, or I will save your time. If I do any of these three, you promote me. And you make it happen. Nothing happens without hard work and consistency. And you know, believe to yourself that you're able to make it. Are you aware of the success cycle?
Tell me, enlighten me, please.
You know, there is one of our problems is that we're not certain enough to do a particular thing. So we have here 4 boxes, okay? You have here your potential, you have here action, you have here result, you have here your beliefs. Everybody knows that human potential is unlimited, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Our issue is always in the belief, okay? So if I come and say myself, okay, I want to become fit, let's say, so I will go to gym to lose 10 kilograms a month, okay? If I'm not a fit person, my belief is that it will never happen, correct? It will never happen. So that's my belief. Then do you think when I tap my potential, I will tap it to the maximum or not?
No.
No. So the result, my action will be small, right?
Yes.
Then the result will be small. Then I will come back, my mind will tell me what, I told you and you won't be able to make it. And then you will repeat this, that's called a downward spiral. You will get destroyed. But if your belief is high, you will tap your maximum potential. You will get best action, achieve best result. And that's then an upward spiral. That is why the statement that says the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. It's all about what starts with your belief. It's the success cycle. It's all with what's in your head. I believe I can make it. How to make this, how to achieve the beliefs, the proper beliefs, there are a lot of things. But one of the best things, burn the boats. Burn your boats. I imagine the results before it happens. So I know I'm getting it. So I'm primed to get my full potential, get the best action, achieve the best result. So when I hit my belief system, it's top. So my potential is always top. A lot of people mess with this. A lot of people play with their beliefs.
Say the positive influences in your life as people.
Actually, my circle is quite small. And what I mean by quite small is...
By design?
It's by, I would say by design, I'd like to keep it small. The people that I trust and they're loyal at the end of the day. So once they are trust and loyal and add value to me in a way, I'm not saying just value, a monetary value, whatever the value it is, they're always close to me. And yes, I have partners, I have friends, I have relationships. That really inspires me.
Some of the books that you think can give value.
You know, it depends on the phase of life.
For the youth, for the ones who are just graduating, for them, what would you say?
Graduating, Blue Ocean Strategy, E-Myth, Atomic Habits. I believe everything is about habits and behaviors. Whatever you want in your life, it's a habit and a behavior that achieves the goal. So these, I would say, the three goals. And then it's not a single book that you read. It is whatever the phase. I would say, like, I love every quarter of my life, every quarter of the year. You have particular skills that you want to develop in yourself. You read books about them. You get the seminars about them. You get the online training courses about them. So you're always in a learning cycle. Jim Rohn had a lovely saying which says, like, we are equal as souls, right? As souls, we're equal, but we're not equal in the marketplace.
Very true.
Once we're in the marketplace, who adds value, who provides value, wins. So you always need to be up to the par.
Any message that you want to give our listeners? I know, see, our listeners can always check out Alpha Talks, because it is one place where you can get good value, where you interview a lot of people from different walks of life, talking all about business and how they move up no matter what phase in their life they were. But other than that, any other special message?
We have a lot of potential. Don't waste it. And then don't waste your time so you will regret later. Time always passes, whether you like it or not. When you hit 60, 70, don't want to sit and regret why I didn't do this and didn't do that because of my family, my friends. And just to do the things that you want to do and man up. That's for men and women. Do the things. The second thing, which I would love for people to know, to start to build their, even from a teenage age, start to build your personal brand. Personal branding these days and in this era is extremely powerful, that you need to start to build it now. If in your 20s, start to build your personal brand. Personal branding is the only legal monopoly available on earth. So whatever the government can close your company, the competitor can hit you hard, but nobody can take your personal brand away. So you need to leverage that. Of course, you know Tesla, correct? Yes. Tesla is almost 10 years old company, while Ford is established since the early 1900s, correct?
Yes.
These two companies are equal in market evaluation. Can you imagine? And why is that? Whether we like it or not, it's the personal brand of Elon Musk behind it. People now want to connect with humans, especially the younger generations. Want to connect with humans. I'm not going to fall in love with a logo. I'm not going to fall in love with a copyright. I'm not going to fall in love with an ad. But in our era, we fall in love and connect with people. So that's why start to build your personal brand early on.
So if anyone wants to reach out to Seif for personal branding or anything in order to become an alpha, or this is men and women alike, so Alpha Up, and check out the links below. We are going to put it in the description column. Before we finish, Seif, who do you think is the alpha in this room right now? Seif, before you answer, let me tell you, my wife said I can be the alpha. That's it.